Ndị Anambra ekene m unu. Afa m bụ Maazị Ezeoke. My name is Maazị Ezeoke. I speak to us this afternoon as I've read the report credited to Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, the former governor of Abia State, confirming that my governor, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, will be joining them in the APC. While that may sound so interesting, I do not have anything against the APC. But because I come from a state that is so peculiar, I want to lend my voice. The governor should hear me before he joins the APC. There is absolutely no reason why the governor cannot join the APC. That is his choice. But if I'm consulted, if I'm asked, I will say, you could collaborate with the APC. There is no need to antagonize someone if there is no need for antagonism. I mean, it is a known fact. You've been in good books of the APC. You've worked with President Muhammadu Buhari. You're working with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, we understand that. But as in Anambra, we also have our rights when it comes to, for instance, the presidency to vote the way we want it. We've done so under President Muhammadu Buhari, and we did so when Peter Obi contested in 2023. But here are my points. If we go back, we say that the APGA is not only a political party in Anambra State. APGA has a deep-rooted spiritual connection within the Anambra. That should not be broken. Because if you do, you're going to kill APGA, the only party. That is not, in my view, good politics. Nothing says you cannot engage in strategic alliance with the powers in the center while you keep your base intact. If you ask me, that is the best strategy. Recall, a man I so much respect that I named my first son after him, Professor Chinua Achebe, late. Chinua Achebe wrote Things Fall Apart, and in that Things Fall Apart, there is a lesson that we must learn. Okonkwo was told, do not bear hand in killing that child that called you father. In this case, Professor, my dear good brother, do not bear hand in killing that platform that gave you life. You contested in 2009 to become the governor of Anambra State under PDP. Sadly, you lost that election. Peter Obi won re-election in that year under APGA. In 2012, you contested again. You were disqualified with a solo call buzzer. Argument which many of us believed was silly at that point, that you had a case with EFCC to answer, and that Obaze was not registered then. He had no voter's card. Those two we know were silly arguments. Both of you were disqualified. Fast forward. You did one of the smartest things that I still applaud you till tomorrow. You waited and you bid your time. You stayed in APGA. After Obiano did everything to make sure that you became the governor under APGA. Now, last weekend, 5-6 days ago, Ndi Anambra resoundingly gave you their vote, not only as Professor Soludo or as Oluwatuegu, as many people may fondly call you, but as the face of APGA. Asina Ejesianilo, Ebulunata, Nobi. APGA, if you want to deny it, if you want, you accept it, has become the Obindibo. Therefore, Iwel Obindibo, Je Mebia, Bunyia Center, Odoronko, Wannemweke, Odoronko, Yabife, Omaka. I do not think that this, at this point, is the best thing to do. You can, as I've said before, without sounding repetitive, you can work with the federal government to attract good things from the Anambra. Of course, the road from Nise Agolo, Ekulobia, down to Oga Ezinifite is a federal road. Of course, we know that. Hope Uzodimma has taken the other side, also going through Akokwa to Olu. Double lane the way you have done, that's something Hope Uzodimma is doing. That's what I call smart thinking. Because both of you did not need to wait on the federal government to do those roads, because if we kept waiting, again, we may not see it happen in our lifetime. but you took the bull by the horn, which influenced Hope Uzodinma to do same. You are doing so in anticipation that the federal government will reimburse that money because you are in the good books with the federal government. One Engineer Dave Umahi also is the Minister of Works. So there is no reason, in my view, why that money should not be refunded back to Ndianambra when the time is right. In all this, these are relationships. These are political, these are things that need to be done. Like I said earlier, there is no need to fight a man that has not shown any reason why you should fight him. In this political paracois, if I may borrow the words of Patrick Obiago, there is no reason to fight unnecessarily. And in this, I think you are in the right trajectory. Liaise with the federal government, Natala Okelu line, but killing that platform that has just given you second term, I think is not good politics, my dear good elder brother. I do not think that it is good politics. I would have said the same thing to Peter Obi in 2012 when he left APGA. Assuming he moved with APGA to PDP. Today, there is nothing like APGA, and probably you may not have emerged as the governor if you had done so. Because if you want to move into APC, the challenge is you are now the governor. There is no way you can now move into APC without taking APGA. And take APGA along to APC means you're going to kill APGA and APGA will die. There is no crisis in APGA. It's not like PDP, where we know that PDP is already dead and PDP will die as a punishment for what they did when it matters most. A people who served, diligently for 20 good years, 16 years when Jonathan left, another 4 years thereafter, when it mattered that they do the right thing in 2022, 2023, they did not. When many of us shouted that if PDP does this, PDP is going to die, they thought maybe because we have never held political office that we're neotypes. Well, they are now living it to see the truth because you cannot test the anger of the people. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, wrote a tweet that I found so interesting and so true. He said that PDP came distant 6 in this election, that it is never believed that PDP once governed this state, and said, but because PDP failed in acknowledging some ethnic sentiment and they never listened, that's what brought them to this point. While you have won your second term, Professor, my dear good elder brother, I think it is bad politics. As Festus Keyamo said, play along and feel the people's pulse. The people, the leaders, the community leaders, the church leaders that I have spoken since I heard the news, some of them dismiss it. Some said, no, if you do that, that is the end. And I do not want your name to be remembered when, if you go, there are people, I don't want to offend their families, but there are people after the war that worked as administrators to help fix the old Eastern region. But if you mention their name today, it sounds as taboo in the ears of those that live today. Professor Soludo, you have done well as the governor of Anambra State, and I believe you will do more in your second term. But please, this is one point that I think if you go ahead to join the APC, kill APGA that have given you a lifeline, Anambra may not forgive you. APGA is not only a political party to Anambra. Anambra has a spiritual bond with APGA. We might fight. There might be political parties. There might be political ideologies. But when it comes to Anambra, that is why APGA will keep winning election, because APGA keeps bringing the best. Therefore, it is very difficult for APGA not to win. Let us not create that division where there is no division. Your departure to APC would haunt your generations to come. When history is written, people may not take it lightly. I am Maazị Ezeoke. If you think I have spoken nonsense, throw away my nonsense, and accept me. I'm your sincerely, Maazị Ezeoke. Peace out.
In the heart of the city where stories unfold, NjenjeMedia TV shining bright and bold, bringing news from the corners of the globe, connects us together, no matter the road. Watch us rise, hear the voices roar, unity and diversity, together we